I cannot believe what we're witnessing from the Laval Rocket right now as Montreal's done in the playoffs. Laval is not, with another win. Jacob Fowler gets his first professional shutout with a bunch of Laval Rocket players. One of the youngest teams in the AHL, absolutely steamrolling the playoffs so far. We have to dive into everything going down for Laval, their leading scorers, and just what makes Jacob Fowler so special now. Plus, they're getting some reinforcements from Montreal, but it's not just that, Jesse. We have some talk about the Hobey Baker winning forward in the NCAA being available for trade, and the Habs team name is swirling around that, you best be sure. And we also got some other great stuff to cover all in this episode of Habs Digest. And we're going to start though, Jesse, with Joel Armia. Now, look, Armia, for a little while there, we still remember when he was sent down at the beginning of last year, and it was like, whoa, are his days numbered? He reinvented himself, became an unbelievable penalty killer, and he was asked in the media availability yesterday, hey, what do you think about your future? He said, I've had a few discussions about coming back next year. I really want to be here in the future. And I think that's really interesting, Jesse. Now, the fact that Joel Armia is saying this is, a little, not necessarily unexpected that he wants to be back, but it starts raising these questions. Like him and Jake Evans, you can make that argument. They're one of, definitely, the best penalty-killing duos in the entire NHL. If the price is right on Armia, now I wonder how low he'll end up going because of he must have raised his value this year. I wouldn't mind having him back. What about you?
You know what? Kent's got his number. I think I appreciate what he's given to the team, Josh, but I think it's time to move on. I think there's that turning of the page right now. I know we got Kaiden, we got Beck, obviously, coming up. So many young guys besides Demidov, obviously there. I think that just the writing's on the wall. Like, with Dvorak, Armia, I would say to a lesser extent, like Armia is still fairly liked by Habs fans, but not to the same extent really as Dvorak there. Both of them though, Armia and Dvorak, both had like stellar, finishes to their, to their seasons here with Montreal. Like, I like what he's given to the team. He is amazing on the penalty kill, but we have to note, like, he was in those trade rumors already with Jake Evans. Like, Josh, I'm surprised to hear this news that he was like, that he's saying that he's been in talks with the Montreal Canadiens about the contract, because he's making it seem like, if he's saying that, he's making it seem like he is going to resign. Like players are very careful with their words there. I'm surprised to hear this with like all the guys that we kind of have coming in right now. A lot of those young guys, I know you still want a little bit of those vet experience, but like, I feel like we got that in Gallagher, Anderson still who are going to be here. So I feel like I would be surprised if he resigns, quite frankly. I think it's time with the Montreal Canadiens. Although he's helped this team in many different ways over the years, I think it's done.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's tough to say, right? Like, and you look at the projected lines for next year, and this is from Puckpedia, and look, there's a lot of good names there. I mean, you look at this top 12, and you're like, who comes out? I mean, my main thought would be, you could argue that Armia maybe is more valuable right now at this stage than Kapanen, but I think the day that Kapanen surpasses him is coming very fast. Kapanen's good defensively himself, but like, maybe you move Newhook to center, take Kapanen out, put Armia on the wing. But this is also a lineup without Player X that we're talking about acquiring this summer. So there's a lot of talk about this. I find it hard to put a place in the lineup for him, Jesse. But let us know down below what you guys think about Joel Armia. Would you want him back at the right price? And what would you do with the lineup in that case? But Jesse, we got to move on to another very interesting topic here today. Now, this is something that doesn't happen very often. Now, NCAA players not wanting to play for their NHL teams, well, that we've seen a little bit, but it's not often that the Hobey Baker winner, in this case, Xhekaj, does not want to play for his team. There's been talks ongoing for weeks now, but recently, just yesterday, Julien Brisebois, the GM of the Lightning, confirmed that Xhekaj is unlikely to play for the Lightning. Unless something changes, he will either be traded or become a UFA on August 15th, 2026. Now, Xhekaj, Hobey Baker winner, like I said, phenomenal college season. Like, he was on a team, he didn't have that much other star help at Michigan State. I believe his next highest scoring teammate was like 31 points. It was in the 30s at the very least. He was absolutely dominant. Again, Jesse, he's 21 years old. He's young, but he's 5'11", 190. He is pretty aggressive on the forecheck. Obviously skilled out of this world. We have a lot of young guys. I mean, I don't know if he'd get that shot in Montreal, but I feel like, look, if you're Kent Hughes, at the very least, got to kick the tires to see if the price is right, because in situations like this, teams often don't have much leverage.
And we know his connections to the NCAA that Kent Hughes has. What interest is of note here, Josh, is like Xhekaj is saying like he's looking for a team with the best fit for him. And looking at a Montreal Canadiens club who just got in the playoffs, but it's kind of positioned themselves to be very good in the future as well, is of note here, right? Again, the same point with Armia kind of reigns true, that there's only so many spots to go around. I think the doors are a little bit more open for an Xhekaj. That being said, you have to wonder, like, if this pans out, you still need to give contracts. And we got like that core five, which we've mentioned, which is kind of our power play, which we saw, kind of in the playoffs here. I don't think we need to list them off. A lot of our players know. But like that core, along with Reinbacher and then Guhle, can extend to about 7 players maybe that you could consider. Guhle's under contract long-term. Reinbacher, if everything goes right, he's starting to be part of that group. Like that's a lot of contracts, right, to then get a young guy in there. So I'm not saying that the Montreal Canadiens are like a set project when it comes to the young guys, but they've really kind of lucked out, which is great. But it also kind of means that the door isn't as open, that there's not as many slots for those other guys, because you still want to have those vets and really have that balance. That being said, like 26, goals last year, having 52 points in 37 games, right? Like is quite an amazing, production from him. Big Ten Player of the Year, Hobey Baker. So for sure, you got to be checking this out if you're Kent Hughes. Like we know that he loves young players that he feels can be a part of this team for many years to come. So you have to feel like this is of interest to him. That being said, it's almost like that good problem that we have right now of just already kind of so many young guys that we need to make sure that they get their deals proper as well.
Absolutely. And if there is space for him, I think Montreal would treat him well. Again, there's speculation that he wants to stay in the U.S. As there always is with a lot of, NCAA players, he's American, stuff like that. But you never know. Like, if Montreal is willing to say, like, I don't know, they're just throwing this out there. I'm not saying this is a possibility, but, like, you dangle someone like obviously, I think Tampa in a vacuum wouldn't want to trade Howard for, like, a Newhook or a Dach. But if Montreal could do it, plus some draft capital, like, you open up a spot in your forward top 9, and here you go, Isaac. You can come right in. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just saying, I don't want to put that out into the ether, but I guess I just did. It's an interesting thought. Like, this is the time, Jesse. Like, we look at those forwards. Some of these guys are going to be gone this summer, so got to start preparing for it. Let us know your thoughts on Isaac Howard down below. But I want to focus now on the here and now, Jesse, and we got to talk about the Laval Rocket. Isaac Howard wouldn't be going there. But look at this. We got to start. We'll get to Fowler in a minute, but I want to talk about the Rocket. Of course, yesterday, Oliver Kapanen officially got loaned back. He'll be wearing 91 down there as well. Cayden Primeau is going back as well. He was with Montreal for games 1 and 2, so he hasn't even been in the net. That's where Jacob Fowler comes in. But right now, Jesse, Laval is up 2-0 in their series, as you can see there. They're Rochester's already awaiting after sweeping their series versus Syracuse, the winner of this Rocket and Cleveland series. Look, 3 points for Sean Farrell, who's been unbelievable. 3 for Barré-Boulet, 3 for Laurent Dauphin, and then you got a goal for Owen Beck, Lucas Condata, and even Florian Xhekaj getting an assist off this face-off. Lucas Condata, the captain, getting a goal. Jesse, right now, before we get to Fowler, this Laval Rocket team, I want to reiterate, it's insane how dominant they've been this regular season and this playoff so far for being one of the youngest teams in the AHL. You talk about Montreal's system top to bottom with helping their youth get the most out of what they can give you. The Laval Rocket are arguably just as good an example as the Habs themselves.
And this is the start we want to see. Like, it seems like they might be off to a run here. So amazing that they're getting kind of that balance from those young players, but also the vets that are contributing as well right now. And obviously having the best tandem in the AHL right now with Jacob Fowler and for sure Kaiden Primeau, who's going to be coming back, is obviously going to help their situation going forward. Like our boy Fowler, absolutely just kind of, being dominant here, right? Like as we saw, 23 out of 25 saves in that first one. Again, bad in 1,000, that clean sheet. Again, Jacob Fowler, nothing new for this guy to getting shutouts, right? If you've been paying attention to Habs Digest, his career in the NCAA, like this guy just absolutely was getting, seems like, shutouts every other game this year in the NCAA, about a quarter of his games. It was absolutely nuts. So again, just for him to continue that though, but also in the playoffs after not having tons of experience playing in the NHL regular season, it's like all the guys has had so much confidence, and it's so like important to say what that does for a team when they're going to playoffs. You got this new guy coming from college as rookie, and then that you're back, that your goalie's, going to protect that net for you. So obviously a stronger team just playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what comes next. Now, of course, Laval's defense is also one of the best decors in the AHL. So it's like, they're doing a good job in front of Fowler. I mean, he wasn't tested as much in that second game, but look, when you're not tested a lot, sometimes you can lose your focus, and that's something Fowler never does. When he needed to make big saves, he did. It's the exact case in game 1 is game 2. He was out there, he's locked in, and then when you watch him play, he just looks confident. And Pascal Vincent even said, Jesse, he's like, he does not look like a young goalie. He doesn't look like a rookie goalie. This guy looks like he knows what he's doing. Laval is rolling right now. David Reinbacher looking confident on the ice, which is great. I don't believe he's got on the score sheet yet, but he's been looking solid, not skating at practice today. Little final question here before we set off, Jesse. If you were Pascal Vincent, who who, honestly, he won AHL Coach of the Year. Like, I fully expect him to try and get poached by an NHL team next year, which sucks. But, like, if you were him, do you start Fowler game 3, even though Kaiden Primeau, in his time in the AHL, his limited time, was, like, the best goalie? Or do you just let Fowler ride this wave? You're up 2-0 in a best of 5, see what happens.
You start Fowler. Being a younger goalie and still kind of getting these results is not a given. But until he shows something kind of different in the nets, if he's playing this well, it's not like he just played and they kind of eked out a win. It's like, okay, yeah, they're only allowing about 20 shots, but whatever he's getting, he's being good on it. You're getting a shutout. You're being dominant. You know, obviously you need to reward the man in that cakes there. And it's like, I don't even know if Primeau will get another chance at it. It's only be if Fowler kind of slips up. Like, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't bet against him even doing that, right? So this will be an amazing run. Like, if this young Laval Rocket team with the Jacob Fowler could help kind of propel them to kind of that Calder Trophy, this would just absolutely be unreal. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but this team is playing absolutely on fire right now, and so is Jacob Fowler.
What a crazy problem to have. Like, Kaiden Primeau, again, what was he, like 22-2 or something with like a 1.6? Something insane, like something stupid, right? With like how good he was. And still, you're like, yeah, no, maybe we run Jacob Fowler because he's been that good too. Like, crazy stuff going on in Laval. Genuinely, like, it blows my mind how bright this future looks for both parts of this organization. I mean, Trois-Rivières, we don't talk about them too much. Not as much interest, but hey, I don't actually know how good they are. They're, a couple hours away from here. Maybe I can go see them. But regardless, I'm excited. I think you guys should be excited. We're all excited for the future of Montreal and Laval. Let us know your thoughts on all that down below, because that'll do it for this episode of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed, make sure you join the giveaway. It's still going on. Don't forget, it ends tomorrow. If you made it to the end of the video, leave a comment on what you would want from the Habs store for $50 or less. Make sure you're subscribed, and one random winner will be announced this Monday, and I hope it's you. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.